Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from StreetScores, and of course I'm gonna break down everything that went down in practice today because we had our first official burgundy and gold scrimmage, I think ever, where we split up our team into two separate teams and they competed against each other, and there was even like a declared winner by the end of practice. We're gonna dive into all of that, but for this video, be on the lookout for that later. This video, we're here to talk about what happened with Terry McLaurin before the practice even started. Terry McLaurin was talking to Adam Peters one-on-one at the practice. This is also the first time we've ever seen Terry step onto the practice field to actually watch the practice as well. We're going to dive into all of that. I'm going to show you the clips. Hey, calling all elite lip readers and body language readers out there, we need you right now. So we're going to dive into everything going on and all of the updates that we have for the Terry McLaurin situation up to this point. But before we get into everything, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. I will have y'all updated on everything that went down in today's practice as well. You know how I do that. We're going position group by position group, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. You'll probably be surprised. Jaden Daniels had somewhat of an off day. We're going to dive into that and why I feel like it's more so the defense is just that good. Again, stay tuned for that later on in the day. But make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you leave a like. And of course, make sure you pull up for the Commanders Kings live show on August 24th. Link in the description. And without further ado, let's go and dive into this video right now, man. Let's get it. Adam. All right, and first of all, we're going to go in chronological order of how everything played out, because I feel like going along the ride, the same ride that a lot of us went through since the very first tweet came out and the very first picture of Terry McLaurin being at practice came out, I feel like going along with the ride makes it so much better for the experience. So first of all, we had this picture uploaded by JP Finley of Terry McLaurin in a hoodie at practice for scrimmage. And I felt like that was monumental immediately because first of all, one, he's not with his agent Buddy Baker attached at his hip going everywhere that he's going. Even like I believe I've even heard fans say that like when Terry would go use the bathroom at like a porta potty or something, he would follow him there. Like no matter where he went, Buddy Baker was there. It was actually really weird. And then second, most importantly, this is the first time Terry has ever watched a practice this closely, at least from my own knowledge, like actually on the practice field with everybody watching the practice instead of like being way off to the side, like where the fans are and signing things with the fans. Like he was actually there at the practice, watching the practice and all of that type of stuff. It was crazy. And then John Com, even with his own picture that he uploaded of Terry McLaurin standing out there at the practice, confirmed that Terry McLaurin was watching practice today, and this is the first time we've seen him do that on the field during a practice ever, like actually taking in the practice live on the field. And then we also got an update from Seawall Sports. She said that no Terry McLaurin contract update from Dan Quinn today. Like he spoke to the media before this practice. He let you know there is no Terry McLaurin update. But now from a lot of the things that we know now that we're going to discuss in this video, maybe he was hiding something. Because at first when I heard that, I was like, no, duh. I mean, unless he's signed, what type of update could you even give us? Especially since you're not on the business side. You're the head coach. You're not even a part of these contract negotiations. So what would you even really know until the deal gets done? I mean, I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn would know before we do. But it's not like he's in there in the contract negotiation meetings with Adam Peters and Brandon Sosna and Lance Newmark on one side, and then Terry McLaurin and Buddy Baker on the other, and then Debo said, and I just doubt that Dan Quinn is in those rooms being a fly on the wall or really having any influence on it. So I wasn't surprised that he said there was no update. I'm assuming somebody asked him and then he just said it, because I just don't think that he would just come out of nowhere and say, hey guys, you know, we have a practice today, and just to let you know, no Terry McLaurin update. I don't feel like he just said that unprovoked. But also, Coach Dan Quinn did confirm that Terry has not only been with the team, he's been in the building, he's been participating in team meetings, all of that type of stuff. And I felt like that was huge news in its own. Like, man, nobody that actually wants to be traded from a team and actually doesn't plan on being with that team is gonna wake up early every day to take part in team meetings and all of that type of stuff, man. He clearly wants to be here. The team clearly wants him here. And so can we just find the right middle and get this deal done, dog? Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So Get it done. Terry clearly wants to be here. And again, you're going to see how much he wants to be here as we go throughout this video. And then shouts out to Mike Hall of Burgundy Zone and brings up a good point. The countdown begins starting Monday night after that Bengals preseason game, which is August 18th, because we're going to have to see who blinks first and gets this situation resolved somehow. Because after that, yeah, the time is really ticking. And so then after that, we had this upload from JP Finley of Terry McLaurin not only on the practice field for the first time ever in training camp since the last time we saw him actually participating in practices during voluntary OTAs months ago. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time we've seen him on the actual practice field since months ago. And not only that, he's talking to general manager Adam Peters, technically in these contract negotiations, public enemy number one for him. So maybe there's some type of positive movement, some type of positive sway from the two to where they're getting closer together, to where he's even comfortable not only being around Adam Peters in person, but let alone in public. I mean, this is the first time we've seen Terry talk to Adam Peters publicly since the contract extension talks have even started. Like, since before all of this noise and rumors going around, then which turned to actual holdout, then hold in, then trade requests. Like, ever since all of that, going back months ago, this is the first time we've seen Terry talk to Adam Peters in public. And I'm pretty sure that was by design. I'm pretty sure that Terry McLaurin was avoiding being around Adam Peters in public for a reason. So maybe something changed. Now, of course, as you're looking at this clip, and I'm just going to keep replaying it over and over again for pretty much the rest of this video, I mean, if any of y'all can lip read, please let me know. Like, if any of y'all happen to be elite body language readers at the very least, so, you know, any psychologists out there, I don't know, please let us know in the comment section what's happening right now. Please. But I do know one thing, though. Even though Terry talking to Adam Peters is like a great sign in my opinion, Terry doesn't look very happy in this clip at the very least, but going to team meetings and everything, come on now. Pulling up the training camp and finally standing on the field at practice and talking to the exact guy that you were having these financial arguments with in the form of like a contract negotiation technically, and in public at that. I mean, I'm not saying that things will be resolved today or really even anytime soon, but I am saying that we must be closer to an extension than at least we were just a couple of years ago, because this is a pretty monumental step forward. I know, you know, when I'm reporting these things, it does sound like, well, this is something so small. Why are we overreacting to it? Is it really that big? I'm telling you, there is a reason that this was publicly put out there. There's a reason that Terry and Adam Peters met up to talk to each other in person, knowing that people would be recording, because they could have waited to do this. First of all, they could have just been talking behind the scenes like they probably already have, or they could have waited until the portion of practice when the reporters couldn't record. They did this specifically at a time, just to let you know, reporters at this practice, and we're going to break this down later, they weren't allowed to record parts of the actual practice. They were allowed to record like warm-ups and the stretches before the practice started. During that window, Terry decided to go to Adam Peters and they talked together, or Terry was already standing there, Adam Peters pulled up, but the fact that they did that in public for everybody to see at the very small percentage of time throughout this whole practice day that the media were actually allowed to record and upload parts of the practice, this had to have been deliberate. This had to have kind of been a sign to the fans, maybe. Maybe I'm reading too far into it, but it seems like, hey, y'all just worry a little less. You know, it's on the way. We're getting things done. We're at the very least moving in a positive direction. I think that's definitely a part of that. And then shouts out to a few people out there. I'm seeing somebody named Adiskins on Twitter. I saw my boy Pedro Smith as well. Everybody's saying that they're reading Terry McLaurin's lips, and it looks like he's saying, quote, I was going to reach out to you, unquote. So I don't exactly know how to read into that. I'm not about to do a deep dive into that sentence because, first of all, I'm still not even 100% sure if that's literally what he said. But it looks like, when you're looking at the clip, it really looks like he said that. And then shouts out to Washington, D.C. Sports News. He said, yeah, I saw that too. First thing he said, as a matter of fact. Also, I wouldn't read too much into Terry's body language in this video. To me, it speaks way more, I'm just ready to play, way more so than I don't want to be here. And I think that's an interesting way to look at it. Maybe it's like a glass half full optimistic view that maybe that's not the truth, but I kind of like that view right there. I like that instead of looking at Terry McLaurin like he's frustrated about the contract, maybe he's just like, man, I can't wait to play, man. Like, I miss this football stuff. So, hey, I'm going to lean towards you, Washington, D.C. sports fan over there. And then also, I mean, another piece of optimism that we can add to the situation is that if my Georgia dog, running back James Cook, who was out here throwing more of a temper tantrum this offseason to get his contract, even more so than Terry McLaurin ever did, he returned and started practicing with the Bills for the first time in a long time. Maybe there's some hope that Terry will soon follow right behind him, because the James Cook situation was definitely worse at a certain point than this Terry McLaurin situation ever was with the Commanders. And if he's back practicing, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe going into the second week of the preseason, maybe guys are just starting to be like, man, forget it, man. I'll just take whatever. I just want to be back with my guys. I just want to be back playing football, and I'm taking this season very seriously, and I don't want to lose any chemistry with my team in Terry McLaurin's situation as quarterback. Because again, Jamar Chase said it last year. He said that the reason that they got off to an ugly start was because he ended up holding out of the entire offseason, and he pulled up. He was there by week 1 of the regular season, but he felt like holding out the entire offseason in order to get his money was the reason that the Bengals got off to a slow start. And they were one of the more talented teams in the AFC by the end of the season, but because they took so many early losses because of that lack of chemistry, whatever chemistry that they lost from his holdout, they weren't able to make the playoffs because of it. And I really want to re-emphasize to y'all, I've said this, brought this point up in several videos. If Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, who have been playing together for several years, not only in the NFL, but even a couple of years back in college together, if they can lose chemistry between each other, elite quarterback, elite wide receiver, why couldn't Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin? Now, I think Jaden Daniels will end up being a better quarterback than Joe Burrow, so I don't want to just automatically assume, oh, because Joe Burrow can't do something, that means Jaden Daniels can't. I'm not trying to say that, but their chemistry goes back, what, like 7 years or something? Jaden and Terry have only had 1 year together, and they've already missed the majority of this offseason. So if Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow can lose whatever chemistry they had just from one offseason of Jamar Chase not being there at practices, what faith can we have that Terry McLaurin wouldn't do the same with Jaden? So yes, can we please get him back as soon as possible? Also, Linnell Willingham even had an opinion on it. He said, and by the way, definitely feeling a little different about the Terry situation now that he's out here and talking to Adam Peters. It's just different optics. And I'm bringing him up because he was one of the people that said something pretty crazy about Terry McLaurin recently. He said recently, quote, I believe Terry McLaurin has played his final game for the Commanders. They put him on the PUP list. That protects both sides. We all know that Terry is not hurt. I do agree with that part. Like Terry, I don't think Terry actually has an ankle injury at all. I think that's just a way to avoid making him look like the bad guy right here. Terry was out there practicing all season. He ain't hurt. If Terry wants to dig in on the fact that his ankle is hurting on PUP, he's got to pass a physical to get off the PUP list. If he refuses to pass that physical, what I would predict to happen is that the team will file a grievance against Terry McLaurin and vice versa. If the team tries to force him off the PUP list and says that he's actually not hurt, Terry can file a grievance with the NFLPA and the NFL against the team as well, unquote. So he just went into this whole spiral of scenarios that I hope we never even get close to. And even now he's starting to say, nah, I don't think we'll get to that point. Again, he even feels like after seeing this clip that you keep seeing all throughout this video of Terry talking to Adam Peters, that maybe it's not as bad as it looks. I mean, if the guy that just gave you that quote that I just read to you, talking about Terry probably played his last game for the Commanders ever, if he's starting to feel optimistic about Terry signing long-term with this team, then we definitely all should, because Linnell was almost at rock bottom in the Terry situation, so maybe there is some real optimism here. But Commanders football at Hogs Haven brings up a good point, though. The two sides have just about 3 weeks to get something done before the start of the season, but for the reasons I've already given you, the example I've already given you with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, hopefully Terry can sign long before that. I'm hoping before our August 24th live show at Crystal City Sports Pub, us and all of the Commanders Kings live in person for the first time ever. I'm hoping by then Terry has been signed. I'm hoping it would be nice if we got him signed before this Bengals preseason game on the 18th. Please. Please, please, please. So, of course, we need him by the time the regular season starts, but I would love it if we got it done even before we got to this next preseason game. That would be amazing. If we can have Terry and Jaden and Debo out there at the same time against the Bengals, against their starters, because remember, it's already been announced from the Bengals side that they will be playing their starters. Dan Quinn already announced that we'll be playing ours. I'm not exactly sure if or how much Jaden may play, but it will be starters versus starters against the Bengals, unlike that Patriots game where the Patriots had like 20 plus of their starters and we maybe had like 2.5. Like, that's it. I think it's going to be mostly starters versus starters for at least a small portion of that Bengals preseason game. So that would be a great opportunity for Terry to pull back up and show everybody we still got it. Me and Jaden still like this with each other. But even moving on from that, Jeremy Fowler just yesterday went on the Grant and Danny show and said that Washington has considered letting Terry finish his final season and then using the franchise tag on him, but Jeremy Fowler feels like it's not very likely, but that is an option that the Commanders are aware of. And now, I mean, the real only report from that is like now there's proof that, I mean, if you trust Jeremy Fowler's reporting and sources, there is now some sort of confirmation that the Commanders have that at least in their back pocket. I've speculated about that in several videos. I keep telling y'all, worst case scenario, the Commanders could just cross their arms, just sit there and look at Terry and say, well, you're under contract, so what you gonna do? Like right now, you're going into being 30 years old by basically the start of the season. And that's the holdup on everybody wanting to even pay you the money that you're asking for. That's the reason we're not willing to give it to you. That's the reason, according to several reports, that even other teams out there aren't willing to give you whatever you're asking for, like near DK Metcalf money, which again, Terry is better than DK. I just feel like this still is overpaid for DK, and now the Commanders are being punished for it. But at the end of the day, the Commanders could be like, well, your problem right now is that you're about to be 30. So, I mean, we could just play hardball, chill, force you to play this season, or even if you skip the season, next year you're going to be in the same situation, but now you're 31. So if you can't get the money that you want at 30, how much you think you're going to get at 31? So at the end of the day, the Commanders could just be chilling. And make it even worse, to Jeremy Fowler's point that he just brought up and confirmed, again, things I've speculated for the past couple of weeks, they could end up franchise tagging Terry McLaurin. If they really, really want to keep him around but don't want to budge at all on a contract extension, and neither of those sides can see eye to eye, if they really want to go that route, they can ultimately end up just franchise tagging him. Now, he's going into the 2027 season as a 32-year-old trying to get big money. So, I mean, at least I hope Terry's aware of that possible future out there, and when in doubt, he'll just take whatever money's being offered now, because it's only going to get lower and worse as he gets older. So that is a thing. I hope we never get to that point, because I mean, Jeremy Fowler already reported like a few days ago that like there is like a small fracture in the relationship between Terry and the Commanders, and you know, maybe things might be a little weird, but like I said, at the end of the day, he gets his money, everybody's happy, he's put pen to paper, and he's going out there and balling out. We're competing for a Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure the relationship is going to be very healthy, so I'm not worried about that at all. But at the same time, man, it sounds like, hey, that boy Terry McLaurin, you might want to go ahead and sign now, because things get ugly. I'm hoping that you are aware of that possibility out there, and that would really tarnish the relationship between the two sides, man. Terry and the Commanders, a frustrated Terry on a franchise tag 2026 season, about to be 31 years old. Yeah, that doesn't sound too pretty. Again, I hope we never reach that point. I'm hoping we get something done. And again, him talking to Adam Peters in public does make me more optimistic about that. And then also, before we get up out of here, Dan Quinn did point out the fact that one unintended consequence of not having Terry McLaurin on the field is that it means more time for Deebo Samuel and Jaden Daniels to connect and to build on that chemistry. Quinn called it a silver lining. And again, this is another thing that I've brought up for the past couple of months now, that when in doubt, I mean, you prefer Terry out there, of course, but it's not all bad is my point. You prefer Terry out there, but with Terry not out there, that means Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel get to accelerate their development and their chemistry together. Like, if Terry was out there this whole time and we never even had this contract situation, I'm pretty sure Jaden Daniels' and Deebo Samuel's chemistry together wouldn't be to the point that it is now. I'm pretty sure it would still be pretty solid, but it wouldn't be to this level to where Deebo's looking like an absolute steal. With the fact that we've traded with like a 5th round pick for him, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a dominant fantasy football option. He looks like a wide receiver 1 out there, and I don't think he would necessarily look like another wide receiver 1 if Terry was out there this entire time and taking away carries and targets and reps and snaps away from Deebo Samuel throughout this process. So there is a silver lining there, but of course, ultimately, please just go ahead and get the Terry contract done so we don't have to keep even talking about this. Let's move on. Let's just talk about pure football. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know if you feel about everything discussed in the video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. Really appreciate y'all. Of course, let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything here, because this is a heavily opinionated video. I don't think I spewed one single fact in this video. Heavily opinionated. So please let me know how y'all feel about everything. Do you agree or disagree with any of my points or any of the points that I brought up from other people's opinions in this video? Let me know. Again, if you're an elite lip syncer, please translate this whole clip for me in the comment section. I'm gonna definitely be there to read those. I really appreciate y'all. Make sure to leave a like on the way out. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.